संग बिन सै सबके सोच। प्रकट होवे साध संग बिन सै सबके सोच।
मंगर माहे सुहंदियां हर पिर संग बैठड़ियां, तिनकी शोभा क्या गणी जे साहिब मेलड़ियां।
मंगर माहे सुहंदियां हर पिर संग बैठड़ियां, तिनकी शोभा क्या गणी जे साहिब मेलड़ियां।
मन तन मोलिया राम स्यों संग साध सहेलड़ियां, साध जना ते बाहरी से रहन अकेलड़ियां।
मन मोलिया राम स्यों संग साध सहेलड़ियां, साध जना ते बाहरी से रहने के लड़ियां।
तिन दुख न कबहू उतरै से जम कै वस पड़ियां, किन्नी रावया प्रभ अपना से जिसन नित खड़ियां।
से जम के बस पड़ियां, जिनी रावया प्रभ अपना से किसन नित खड़ियां।
रत्न जवेहर लाल हर कंठ ना जड़ियां, नानक बांचे धूड़ तिन प्रभ सरनी दर पड़िया।
रत्न जवेहर लाल हर कंठ तिना जड़ियां, नानक बांचे धूड़ तिन प्रभ सरनी दर पड़िया।
मंगुर प्रभ आराधना बोहड़ न जन्मड़ियां, मंगुर प्रभ आराधना बोहड़ न जन्मड़ियां।
मंगल प्रभ आराधना बोहड़ न जन्मड़ियां, मंगल प्रभ आराधना बोहड़ न जन्मड़ियां।
कोख तुखार न व्यापई कंठ मिलिया हर नाम, मन बेदया चरनार बिंद दर्शन लगड़ा साहो।
तुकार न व्यापई कंठ मिलिया हर नाम, मन विद्या चरनार बिंद दर्शन लगड़ा साहो।
कोट गोविंद गोपाल राय सेवा स्वामी लाओ, बिख्या कोह न सकी मिल साधु गुण गाओ।
कोट गोविंद गोपाल राय सेवा स्वामी लाओ, दिखया कोई न सकई साधु गुण गाओ।
जहते उपजी तह मिली सच्ची प्रीत समा, कर गए लीनी पार ब्रह्म बोहड़ न बिछुड़ियां।
कहते उपजी तह मिली सच्ची प्रीत समा, कर गए लीनी पार ब्रह्म बोहड़ न बिछड़िया।
बार जाऊं लख बेरिया हर सज्जन अगम अगाओ, शर्म पई नारायण नानक दर पैया।
बार जाऊं लख बेरिया हर सज्जन अगम अगाओ, शर्म पई नारायण नानक दर पैया।
ओख सोहंदा सर्ब सुख जिस बख्शे वे पड़वाओ, ओख सोहंदा सर्ब सुख जिस बख्शे वे पड़वाओ।
ओक सुवंदा सर्व सुख जिस बख्शे वे परवाहो, ओक सुवंदा सर्व सुख जिस बख्शे वे परवाहो।
माग मजन संग साधुआ तूड़ी कर इशनान, हर का नाम त्याय सुन सबना नो करदान।
आगम जन संग साधुआ तूड़ी करे स्नान, हर का नाम त्याय सुन सबना नो परदान।
जन्म कर्म मल उतरे मन ते जाए गुमान, काम क्रोध ना मोही है बिन सै लोभ समान।
जन्म कर्म मन उतरे मन ते जाए गुमान, काम क्रोध न मोहिए बिन सै लोभ सुमान।
सच्चे मार्ग चल दया उस्तुत करे जहान। 68 तीर्थ सगल पुन जी दया परवान।
सच्चे मार्ग चल दिया पुस्तक करे जहान। 68 तीरथ सगल पुण्य जी दया परवान।
जिसनु देवै दया कर सोई पुरख सुजान। जिन मिलया प्रभ आपना नानक तिन कुर्बान।
जिसनु देवै दया कर सोई पुरख सुजान। जिन मिलया प्रभ आपना नानक तिन कुर्बान।
माग सुचे से कांडिय जिन पूरा गुर मेहरवान। माग सुचे से कांडिय जिन पूरा गुर मेहरवान।
माग सुचे से कांडिय जिन पूरा गुर मेहरबान। माग सुचे से कांडिय जिन पूरा गुर मेहरबान।
फल गुण आनंद उपार जना हर सज्जन प्रगटे आए। संत सहाई राम के कर कृपा दिया मिलाए।
फल गुण आनंद उपार जना हर सज्जन प्रगटे आए। संत सहाई राम के कर कृपा दिया मिलाए।
फल गुण आनंद उपार जना हर सज्जन प्रगटे आए। संत सहाई राम के कर कृपा दिया मिलाए।
फल गुण आनंद उपार जना हर सज्जन प्रगटे आए। संत सहाई राम के कर कृपा दिया मिलाए।
सेज सुहावी सर्ब सुख गुण दुखा नाही जाए। इच पुनी वड भागनी वर पाया।
रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा। रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा। बन से सदन सब है कर समझो। मन ही माहे उदासा। रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा। जत की जटा जोग को मज्जन। नेम के लखन बढ़ाओ। ज्ञान गुरु आत्म उपदेशो। नाम भभूत लगाओ। रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा। रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा। अल्प आहार सुलभ सी निद्रा। दया छिमातन प्रीत। सील संतोख सदा निर्वाहिबो। होइबो त्रिवन्नति। रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा। रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा काम क्रोध हंकार लोभ हट मोहना मन सो लावे तब ही आत्म तत् को दर्शे परम पुरख कह पावे रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा रे मन ऐसो कर सन्यासा ऐसो कर सन्यासा ऐसो कर सन्यासा
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की
Good morning, everyone. Hi, welcome to love, welcome to satsang. Oh, where is that love bell? Calling us for love. Master, did you see the gorgeous schedule? I love this schedule. Look at it. It's so mystical. Ooh, you want to go there? I want to go meditate there. So beautiful. Thank you so much. We have a shabd by dear sister Sumit, and the title is Mind Relishes the Destitution Now. The destination or destitution? I don't know. I'm not sure. She will tell us. Then there is a welcome by me. And we have few minutes, so if anyone wants to do seva, please do seva. If anyone wants to add something or to sing, we have, because Prempal's talk is 40 minutes. So we have up to 10:20. So we can, if anybody needs to do a seva, they are welcome. And Prempal Ji's talk is about hope. Hope. I'm looking forward. Then we're gonna listen to our Holy Father, Ishwar Puri Ji, and go to this place all together. We can visit this, have a vacation there. um, so let's start with our dear sister Sumit.
Can you hear me, Michael?
Yes.
Good morning, good evening, namaste, Radha Swami, my dear brothers and sisters. This Shabad is from Kabir Sahab. I will translate this Shabad in English. My mind got detached from the worldly desires and its seeking for higher truth. The blissful state that I experienced during Simran, I never could it from the materialistic things, including wealth. Listen to your criticism, not listen to your criticism and admirership. Live in humility and non-egoistic status. I am in a blissful state in Sachkhand, known as Prem Nagar or Anand Bhavan or Begumpura, after dropping off all the costumes of physical, astral and causal body. Sitting in a physical body, I experienced detachment and get rid of all the desires and attain everything that is beyond time and space. This physical body will be turned into ashes, what you are proud of anyway. Kabir Sahib says to all the seekers who are looking for higher truth, you will meet God when your mind will be fully contented. So now I will sing this Shabad. मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, जो सुख पायो राम भजन में, जो सुख पायो राम भजन में, राम भजन में, राम भजन में, सो सुख नाही अमीरी में, सो सुख नाही अमीरी में, मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, भला बुरा सब का सुन लीजो, भला बुरा सब का सुन लीजो, कर गुजरान गरीबी में, मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में, प्रेम नगर में रहन हमारी, प्रेम नगर में रहन हमारी, रहन हमारी, रहन हमारी, प्रेम नगर में रहन हमारी, भली बन आई तब में भाली बन आई तबोरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में हाथ में कुंडल बगल में सोटी हाथ में कुंडल बगल में सोटी चारों दिशा जगीरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में आखिर ये तन खाक मिलेगा आखिर ये तन खाक मिलेगा खाक मिलेगा खाक मिलेगा आखिर ये तन खाक मिलेगा कहाँ फिरत मगरूरी में कहाँ फिरत मगरूरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो सुनो भाई साधो सुनो भाई साधो कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो साहिब मिले सबूरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में मन लाग्यो मेरो यार फकीरी में फकीरी में फकीरी में फकीरी में. So this Shabad is sung by our Mata Rita ji, the master's Rajinder wife, also in very melodious voice. So this Shabad is dedicated to my master Rajinder Singh ji. Thank you so much, master. Thank you, my dear brothers and sisters.
Sumit ji, thank you for bringing your master's love to us and his blessings. We really appreciate that. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. So if anyone wants to do any seva, please come up. I would like to see more people do more seva, and we can enjoy more people. The love. We're all doing seva for our master, so it doesn't have to be always me. Other people can also come up. But no one? Okay, I guess master wants me to do seva. Yesterday, I had such a holy day. while I was working, where so many people, one, two, three, like about four people asked about Master, and satsang started. And each satsang was different. And it was so enjoyable. And one of the ladies that was asking so many questions, she said, "Wow, whatever you're saying is so true, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this." I'm like, "That's totally okay. We all have our time. We all have our time to go back home. And if it's not our time, then we won't seek, and it won't be, we're not ready yet. We have to be ready." And I was explaining to her that we go through millions of lives, and we go through religions and all types of ways and means before we even come across a perfect living master. And just to hear about the perfect living master is a great, great, great blessing. To just hear about a perfect living master from one of his disciples or one of his lovers, that's big seva, that that person, even though they are not ready yet to go back home, but the seed of God, the seed of love, the seed of truth that never can ever be lost, that once that seed of truth goes in someone, if they had an open heart to listen, then the seed, master plants the seed, and that seed grows and never is lost and keeps on growing until it becomes a fruit and ripe to be picked. That means a perfect master will come, will appear by a godly coincidence for that person that was asking the questions. Amazing, amazing how truth is never lost. And we also probably have come on this path in the same way that some lover of God did seva, and we listened, and we got interested, and our heart opened. Our soul got a little bit awakened when it touched its own source, when it touched truth. And that awakening of the soul, once it starts to awaken, then it can never go back. That's it. Once somebody really asks with a sincere heart and really opens their self, opens themselves, then there is an opening of the heart. And that opening of the heart will keep on fermenting, as we were said yesterday. And it will lead to a perfect master sooner or later, maybe in 2 lives, maybe in 3 lives. But if a person listened about the perfect master, that's it. They are caught. They are caught. Master catches people this way. People are caught. And once they are caught, they're never let go, as the hand of God is so tight on all his lovers and all the ones who are seeking. And once that hand of God holds us, it never lets go. It really never lets go. And we keep on developing life after life after life after life. Then there is another lady and her husband that came in with me, and I wasn't talking to them; they were talking with themselves. And then she said, you look so happy, and you have the crow's foot on me, on like from smiling. Then there is those lines that are called crow's feet." And she said, and that made me so happy. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I never knew that this is that smiling and happiness." I told her, "Yes, I'm a happy person. I live in my holy master. I'm always connected with my holy master, and my inner self is always smiling. It comes out on my face." And then she was saying that I have those crow's feet. I was so happy. And then I looked at Master's picture. He has crow's feet, and that's a sign of smiling. That people who smile too much, like how Muslims, when they kneel and they hit their head hits the ground so many times, and they develop like They develop a blue point over here or a dark point, like a black point over here. That's because, and some of them do it for an ego, for an egotistical reasons, that they keep bowing their head on the ground so people will see that they have like a black dot over here. But the real bowing is from within. The real bowing to the master is when we live in his commandments. When we live and obey the master's commandments, live a content, holy life based on meditation, seva, self-introspection, and always seeking to go higher and higher and higher in our awareness. That is real bowing to the master. They call it Satgur Seva. What is the Satgur Seva? The Satgur Seva is to connect with the Shabd, to connect with the holy sound. Once we connect with the holy sound, that's the highest masters say, that's the highest seva that we can do ever. Much better than any type of seva when we are concentrated enough through the Simran, and we fix our concentration through the dhyan of the master, and then we catch the Shabd. And that Shabd is the Satgur, real Satgur Seva. The Satgur Seva is the Shabd, because the Shabd will transform us to something very beautiful. And that transformation that happens to us is the greatest seva we can do to our master. Because once we are transformed from within, once we are transformed from within, then we become a holy instrument in the hand of holy God. In the hand of holy God, we become a holy instrument. That means God can use us anywhere and everywhere, not only in this world, but he will use our astral body, he will use our causal body, he will use our soul, and we will be doing seva, not only in this world, not only in this world we will be doing seva, but we will be doing seva in the astral region, and we will be doing seva in the causal region. Wherever we have an existence, wherever we have an existence, whether it's an astral body or a causal body or soul, we will be doing the seva of God. So we will be helping people in the astral region, we will be helping people in the causal region, and we will be helping people in this world. And people who meditate regularly, who go within and are in touch with their astral body or their universal body, the mind, then they can see that they are doing seva. They are doing seva inside. I'm sure people who do seva outside also and are connected from within, and they are in touch with their astral body and their higher bodies, they see themselves doing seva, um, talking about master and telling about the holy light and the holy sound in all the worlds that exist inside. As we have much more, we have more existence than we think. We have more existences than we think. We exist here in this world, and we have multiple existences, multiple bodies, I guess our soul uses. And then when we are in touch with those bodies, we can see that we are also doing seva on higher regions. And that's really good, that we become a holy instrument in the hand of holy God. And the more we develop spiritually, the more we can look at our inner self and see our progress. And our progress comes in the form of how much we forgive others, how much we forgive others. I read a poem from Hafiz this morning, and it came at the right occasion. And it says, one needs to love those they have yet to love, to stand near the friend. One needs to love those they have yet to love, to stand near the friend. This whole sentence is a satsang by itself, that no one can stand by the friend if they don't love people who have a dislike for. Imagine how these few words, this sentence, is so heavy in its weight of wisdom, so heavy in its weight of wisdom, that if we have any dislike for anyone, any hatred for anyone, then we have to really introspect it. We have to really introspect it, and we have to really give it to Master, that it's holding us to stand near the friend. That means it's holding us from seeing our inner Master. It's holding us from enjoyment. It's holding us from bliss and ecstasy of being with the friend. Because only pure at heart are the ones that shall see God. And if there is anybody that we hate, then we really have to introspect ourselves. We really have to introspect ourselves. We have to look within, and we have to change ourselves by the grace of Master. We give our problem to Master, and when our problem is given to Master, then he starts to work on us. Really, first of all, we have to recognize what's wrong with us. That's the first step of solving the problem. In what anything we have that holds us from Master, anything we have that holds us from Master, whether it's anger, lust, greed, ego, or attachment, or any of their byproducts, jealousy and hypocrisy and criticism and saying something and meaning something else, when our heart does not conform with our words, then we are in problem with Master. That really what's in our heart has to come in our words, and there has to be a unison between what's in our heart and what comes out from our mouth. And so many things we can look at deeply at ourselves. And Ishwar Puri Ji, in his satsang, he said, our Holy Father, he gave the example of his wife, and how she said that something happened to her from a person, and that's an unforgivable sin. And then they read somewhere a quote from the church that they were going to, or the Bible, or I forgot what, but it said, when something you think that cannot be forgiven, that's the first thing that has to be forgiven. That the thing that is unforgivable has to be forgiven. And this is what will lead us to come close to the Master. Nobody can come close to the Master if they have hatred in their heart to anyone, or a dislike to anyone, whether it's a family member, whether it's another initiate, and even the presidents. You know how people always criticize the presidents, and that also leads to also a problem between us and the inner Master, because he wants us to take a step back and look at it as a show, that even the people with the evil roles have been put there for the sake of the show. And God is everywhere. God is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. And there is no form that we see that is not God. No form that we see that is not God. So to criticize or to have hate for any form of God, that holds us from being near to the friend. This is really, if we can really take this sentence and really digest it, then just like a spoon of yogurt that is put in a milk will turn the whole jar into yogurt. The same way, if we perfect one godly virtue, whether it's generosity, or whether it's humility, or whether it's compassion, or whether it is forgiveness, or whether it is living a content life, any of the virtues of God will act like a spoon of yogurt put into a jar of milk. It will really turn us. It will really change us into all godly virtues. It's like a domino effect. When we perfect one godly virtue, then all other godly virtues automatically sprout in us. And when we When we, by the grace of Master, knock one of the 5 enemies, one of the 5 enemies that also stand in our way to God, like anger, if we get rid of our anger by the grace of Master, because we cannot do anything by ourselves, then also it's like a domino effect. Then the greed and the lust and the ego and the attachments will also fall one by one. Why? Because the base of their building has been knocked. And once one pole of the building falls, that holds the building falls, then the building collapses. And the same way, we can also always work on one godly virtue that we have, and each one of us has one type of virtue that they are excellent at and they can perfect. Some people love to do seva, and that brings humility. If they perfect that, then humility will come up. And once humility is perfected, imagine God lives in a soul that is totally, totally, totally humble. Someone who thinks that he is nothing and is always serving, not for any purpose other than to serve. No other purpose than to serve the Lord. Just serve, serve, and serve, and not expect. Then that person is a soldier in the mission of God. That person is not just a soldier who has humility, but like a commander in the army of God. In the army of God. In the army of God is opposite than the army of this world. In the army of this world, the king runs to the back and puts the foot soldiers in front. That's how the armies of the world work. But in the army of God, in the mission of God, Master is in front and his lovers are in the back. And a lover of God who develops the virtue of humility to the utmost, that means the ego goes away. Imagine that disciple will become total. We're all working on it, right? We're all working on it, and always praying that Master and God will chop our ego slowly as we serve with love, with humility, with utmost love and utmost humility, not asking for anything in return. Then what happens? Our ego gets chopped slowly, slowly, slowly. It melts like a candle. And when it melts like a candle, then humility rises. Humility rises. When humility rises, God exists in the heart of the humble person. So yes, it is opposite than the army of this world. Opposite than the army of this world. That the most humble has the most God, but yet the king has a crown and his commanders have all these medals all upon them. And it is opposite. That's all ego. And they're all in the behind. And in the army of God, it is the humble, the most humble, who is in front, the one who is nothing. The one who is nothing, as they say, zero contains everything. Zero, out of shunne, out of nothing, this whole creation came. That's why the zero is a very great number, because it contains all the negative and all the positive on both sides. The zero is the richest number. It contains all. It contains all. And God wants to make us into nothing so he can fill us with himself. Really, that's the secret. That's the secret, to become nothing. Because when we become nothing, then we allow a space for God so he can fill us with himself or herself. So God can take that empty space. And it's all about vacating ourselves. Whoever we are now has to be totally demolished and rebuilt. Totally demolished and rebuilt in the image of God. In his image made he him, male and female made he them. It is written in the Holy Bible, in his image made he him, male and female made he them. So we are made in the image of God. And to become God, we have to vacate ourselves. We have to be really annihilated, demolished. And that is what is called the fires of purification that everyone has to go through. Everyone has to go through the fires of purification. It's the same as the ripening of the fruit. The ripening of the fruit, that all fruits have to ripen before they can be picked, before they are delicious, before they are eaten. We also have to ripen. We also have to ripen our love. And here's another poem from Hafiz. It says, this sky where we live is no place to lose your wings. So love, 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 love. And it keeps saying love, love, love. And this sky where we live is no place to lose your wings. So love, love, love. It's on love. Love grows our wings. Love grows our wings so we can really fly up high to God. I mean, inside, of course, where our awareness increases. So only love increases our awareness. Only love increases our awareness. And we cannot lose our wings in this world. That means every moment here is so, so precious that we invest it. We invest it in God. We invest it in God. We invest it in the kingdom of God. And we say no to the mind. We know what causes us to suffer. We know what takes us away from love into the other house of suffering. We know, each one of us knows. Each one of us knows. So once we learn how to say no to the mind, whenever it brings the temptation, just say no. Say no. When we say no, our soul becomes stronger and stronger and stronger in God. One no after the other no after the other no creates a yes, and a yes. A yes. A yes from God. Yes. That means the key. Yes is a key. To say no to the mind, automatically on the other side is yes, yes, yes. The more no we say to the mind, the yeses start to increase on the other side. And what is that yes? When God, it's the opening of the heart of Master for us. It is the pull, the magnetic pull of God and the kingdom of God. It's a yes for love and devotion. Yes. And how much has our love and devotion? How much should we have love and devotion before the floodgates open on us? How much? Yes, we have to build the yeses. We have to build the yeses so they become unlimited. And the no's always, the no's to the mind that stop us from having the godly party and from being close to the friend, from being near the friend. So yes, love, love, and love. And what is the limit of love and devotion? It's unlimited until we forget ourselves, who we are, and we just keep serving and serving and serving. We serve Master in any way we can, and we lose ourselves in serving the Master. We serve for the love of serving. We serve for the joy of serving. As serving Master brings so much joy and so much bliss, so much smiles to our inner heart. So much, and we lose ourselves in that joy, in that bliss. It wants us to that, then we want to serve and serve and serve, and our love and devotion has to reach a maximum where it breaks the threshold of the shackles of the mind. There is a threshold that our love and devotion for Master, our trust and faith has to grow to break that threshold totally, and then open the floodgates of God and the kingdom of God. All right. That's what I wanted to do, Seva. I hope Master accepts my Seva. Look how beautiful Master is. And he's with us here every day. And every day I have an anxiety and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? And then I know that Master is here and he uses us. And when we know that we are nothing and we are just instruments in the hand of the Lord, then he uses us more and more. And that's the secret of being used by the Master, is that we know that really we are nothing. We are nothing. And if we think we are something, he will knock our heads down. We will suffer. And yes, yes, if there is an ego, he has to demolish it. So we have to always know, do the seva, knowing that Master is the only doer. Master is the only doer. So thank you, Master, for accepting my seva, and my head goes on your shoe forever and ever and ever. And now we can play our dear brother Prempalji. I hope you will enjoy. I'm looking forward.
Radha Swami, everyone. My today's topic is hope. Today's topic is hope, also known as Asa, Mansa, Umeed, wishes, desires. All these things belongs to the mind. That means the hope, desire, Umeed, wishes. This is all the function of the mind. Hope means I hope this will happen. Desire, I need this. Wish, I wish this will come true. I wish this will not come true. I wish, I hope, I wish this will happen the way I want, also known as Insha'Allah. I hope this will happen. Also known as Ameen. Khuda kare aisa hi ho. Ameen. Also known as Amen in the modern churches. Amen is Ameen, known as Amen in all the churches. That means Khuda kare aisa hi ho. I hope the desire or wish of the God will come true, not our wish. But my today's topic is wish, desire, because we don't believe in our destiny, in our pralabdha. We have our own list of desire and wishes, and that list does not match with our destiny or the DVD that has already been created. It does not match with that. Reason? We don't know what is written in our destiny. Whatever is written, you can't change it. As Bani of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji says, Dukh sukh karte tur likh paya koi na sake mate. The pain, pleasure, whatever you get in your life has already been written. You cannot change it. You can wish it. If that wish or desires comes true, that does not mean that your request has been accepted. That means it was already written in your karmas. According to your past life karma known as destiny, pralabdha, kismat or kismat. Vishesh Paji sent me the message and he said, Paji, I hope you have the topic ready. I never knew it. What I was going to say? Then after a few minutes, something came from intuition. I said, Paji, my topic will be hope. hope, wish, desire. This is the function of the mind. Every day, our mind creates a lot of desires, wishes. I want this, I want this, I want this. We are here because of our desire and wishes. We will go back by a few drop of all our desire and wishes. At the time of the death, if there is something left in our mind, any desire or demand, if there is anything left in our mind, that means at the last time, if our mind is thinking about something, I didn't get this, you will get it, but you have to come back again to get it. At the time of the death, whatever is your last desire, your reincarnation depends upon that desire, wish, asha, trishna, mansha. Mansha. And Bhagat Trilochanji wrote a full verses on that. What happened at the time of the death? If any desire, demand, left in your mind, any hopes, I wish I had this, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done this, then what happened? Bhagat Trilochanji wrote a full verses on that. At the time of death, if any desire is left in your mind, the same desire will pull you back and you will take a birth so you can fulfill that desire or wish. मरते वक्त जो मंदिर सिमरे वो प्रेत जून में पर है. The Bani of Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji says at the time of the death, Bhagat Trilochan Ji says, if you're thinking about temples, churches, gurdwaras, and including deras, you will come back as a ghost. Ghost. Why? Because you want to be there. I remember when Hajur Maharaj Chan Singh Ji was giving answer and questions. Someone asked Babaji, Maharaj Chan Singh Ji, like to be in Dera? Then Maharaj Chan Singh Ji said, take a Dera with you. Dera is nothing but bricks and mud. The real Dera is inside of you. Find that Dera. Inside. Inside. Harmandir e Sharir hai. The real Dera is inside. Inside. Then Babaji said, Dera is just bricks and mud and all those steel bars and everything. That's what Maharaj Chan said, take it. The real Dera is inside. मरते वक्त जो मंदिर सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में जो मरे, वो प्रेत जून में पड़े. He come back as a ghost, aliens, and they run around at the same dera, temple, church, gurdwara, mandir, whatever. मरते वक्त जो पुत्र सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में जो मरे, वो शुक्र जून में पर है. At the time of the death, if you're thinking, I never had any kid in my life, you will come back again in a form of female pig, then you will have many kids. मरते वक्त जो लक्ष्मी सिमरे, ऐसी चिंता में जो मरे, वो सर्प जून में पर है. At the time of the death, if you're still thinking about the money assets you got, you will come back as a snake and you will sit and you will come back as a snake. मरते वक्त जो नारायण सिमरे, वो जून में न पड़े. At the time of the death, if you remember your master, you will never come back. Hope, asha. We keep thinking, I want this, I want this, I want this. That's the function of the mind. We keep thinking, I want this, I wish I become millionaire, I wish I have a money. People who don't have a money, they will say, I don't have any money. The people who have money, ask them, they will say, we have money, but it's not enough. It's not enough. They want more. That is hope, Asha. If Vaheguru, if you need something, that is your demand, and your master give it to you, then you will ask for more. If your mind create one desire, get fulfilled by the master, it will create thousands more. If 1,000 more get filled up, get create millions more. We do not have enough time to get all those things in one lifetime. You cannot fulfill all your desires in one lifetime. There is no way. As Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji used to say in his Punjabi satsang, Dinda de lende thak pae, Dinda de lende thak pae, Juga Jugantar khaye khaye. Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji used to say, you can ask Vaheguru Paramatma, I need this, I need that, he will give it to you, but you have to come back again in this physical planet in a different forms to fulfill that desire. Juga Jugantar khaye khaye. And Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji also used to say in his Punjabi satsang, ਲੋਭ ਰੂਪੀ ਕੁੱਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਭੌਂਕਦਾ ਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ. Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji used to say, the greed, the desire and wishes is such a dog that it will keep barking till the death, till the end of your life. That barking dog will bring you back again, so he can bark again. Who's that barking dog? Who's the barking dog? The mind is the barking dog. Same mind will bring you back again in a different form, so he can continue his barking. He continue his desires of lust and demands. List of desires and demands. As a human being, we are the one who create a list of desire and demands, not the other species. Other species make a wish. The tree, he loved to wish to go to the next two elements. Two element species want to go to the three elements. 3 element to the 4, 4 to the 5. As 5 elements, as a human being, we should try to go back home. We should try to go back home. Not come back again. Not come back again. Our mind is keeping us here with all kind of desire, wishes, asha, meed, trishna, lust, desire, greed. Going back, we have to detach ourselves. Why you are here? Why you are keep coming back? Why you are coming back? Because of our desire, because of our wishes, because of our trishna, our lust. Our mind won't let us go back home because this is the territory of mind. Even mind is trapped in this physical planet. Once mind understands that he belongs to universal mind, then mind will say, oh my God, I had forgotten my own home too. I want to go back home too. But mind won't understand. This desire and wish does not matter how much we have. Mind will keep asking for more and more and more. Asha, Manasa, Jagmohani, Jinmoya Sansar. Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj say all our desire and wishes will keep us trapped in this physical planet, the game that's going on. Jinmoya Sansar. The whole world is trapped in illusion. Maya. Maya. And also, Baba Nanak Ji says, बड़े बड़े राजन और भूमन ताकि तृष्णा ना बूझी. Baba Nanak Ji says, I met many yogis, many kings, many Landlords, they are still thirsty, hungry for more materialistic things. Bade Rajan or Puman. Babaji says, I have met many kings, many landlords. They still have a desire. A king will say, I wish I am the king of the whole physical planet. I wish I could extend the boundary of my country. If you are a landlord, you have 5,000 acres. Your wish is, I wish I have 10,000 acres. This is Trishna, desire, demand, hope, umeed. It will never end. If it doesn't end, it becomes Trishna. Trishna means endless desire. Endless desire. It won't end even until the death of your life. Trishna agni parle kiya, त्रिपतना कबू होए, सुर नर मुनि और रंक सब भस्म करत है सोए. As Kabir Sahib Ji Maharaj Ji says, this desire, wish, attachment, lust has destroyed everything, everyone. Tript kabnu na hoye, we never get contentment. Sur nar, even all those angels and Devi Devta sitting in the heaven, they are not satisfied either. They still have more desire and wishes. Raja Rang, king, and including the beggar. King is not satisfied. And not to talk about a beggar, even a king is not satisfied. If a king is not satisfied, what do you expect from a beggar who has nothing? Surunar Muni or Rank sab pasam kart hoye. At the end, the beggar and king, they all die. And none of them fulfill their desires and wishes. Desire and wishes, lust, greed, unless list off. Our problem is, whatever is written in our destiny, known as Paralabdha or past life karma, you cannot change it. As Ishwarpuri Maharaj used to say, our DVD has already been recorded. That means whatever we will get is already been written in our karma according to our past life karma or Paralabdha. And Baba Sri Ram Ji used to say, your files has already been made. Thodiyan files ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਣ ਚੁੱਕੀਆਂ. I never could understand what he is trying to tell me. When I had a chance to listen to the satsang of Ishwarpuri Maharaj, I realized, yes, now I understand. If a movie is already made, there is no way that you can change the scene. As Ishwarpuri Maharaj used to give an example of a villager who went to see the movie and the train is running, a woman is taking the clothes off. By the time the train comes in, when the train is parked, they have the clothes on. That means you cannot change the events, whatever is written. The other thing I like to make it clear is, even if you go to the universal mind, you can go back and past and future. That is called time traveling. Time traveling help. It happens at the universal mind area. You can travel time and back and forth, but you cannot change the events. You can see it. When you reach the universal mind or Brahm, you can see what happened in the past. At the same time, you will see what happened in the future. But there is no way that you can change past or future. That's what the reality is. You cannot change the past. You cannot change the future. You can go to the universal mind area. The time traveling is not possible at the physical level. It's only possible at the causal level. At the causal level, when you reach the universal mind or Brahm, from where the creation started, you will understand and know everything. You can go back and forth, but there is no way you can change anything. You cannot change anything. cannot change anything, including your own destiny. If we cannot do anything, what does that mean? That means whatever is already written, we will get it. But still our mind will start, keep creating desires and wishes, asha, mansha, trishna, and all those. What is asha? Asa, desire. Do we get anything out of it? The answer is no. The Bani of Baba Nanak Ji says, Asa vich at dukh ghana. Asa vich at dukh ghana. Man mukh chit laya. Gurmukh bhay nirash. Sukh phal paya. Babaji says, the hope, desire, wish is nothing but a pain and suffering. Those who follow their master, Gurmukh bhay nirash, they don't want anything from here. They love to meet the master inside in a radiant form. As the last emperor of Mughal Empire, Bahadur Shah Jafar, says about these desire and wishes. But he says, इन हसरतों से कह दो, इन हसरतों से कह दो कहीं और जा बसे, इतनी जगह कहाँ है दिले दागदार में, उम्रे दराज मांग कर लाए थे 4 दिन, 2 आरज़ू में कट गए 2 इंतजार में. Bahadur Shah Jafar says, all the desire and wishes, please leave me alone. God gave me a life for 4 days. And out of 4 days, that means the 2 days I spend in desire and wishes, and 2 days in the hope. I hope this will happen. I hope this will happen. And nothing happened, and the life is over. We keep thinking, I hope this can happen. I hope this can happen. But it doesn't happen. But our life ends. 2 आरज़ू में कट गए 2 इंतजार में. I spend half of my life in desire and wishes and half of my life in waiting for those desire and wishes to come true. But it doesn't happen the way you want, because your destiny has already been written according to your karmas. Then what we have to do? Vasana Baddha aaye, Vasana Baddha jaye. Our desire, list, wishes all take us back, become the cause of the reincarnation. You come back again, back and forth, in a different forms. Janam and karma and janam. Do karmas, come back. Create more karmas, come back again. Go to the astral level where the decision is made. Come back. Even if you go to heaven and hell, do come back again here? You cannot go beyond time and space. As long as you are in the realms of mind, as long as mind is your master. Then how we can get rid of all these things? How to control the mind, and how to, if you can control your mind, then you can control everything. If you can win your mind, you can control everything, but it's very hard to do this. Nanak man jeete jag jeet. The one who can control his mind, he can control everything. कोट जतन से जे नहीं माने तुन सुन कर मन समझाए. The mind never listen. It is hard to control the mind. You can do anything. There is no way that you can control the mind or hold the mind. Stand still. You cannot make your mind thought free. Once your mind becomes thought free, once your mind becomes stand still, then the light or sound, the sound will open up. That means to control the mind, you have to listen the sound or the shabd. Then who will give us the shabd? Who will give us the naam? Shabd and naam is already been written in many Vedas, Puranas, books. This is just nothing unless you get it from a master who already reached the Sachkhand. That means we can do it only If we find ourselves a perfect living master who already had controlled his mind, who already controlled his desire and wishes, who already had gone beyond the realms of mind, and he's the only one who can help us, and he's the only one who can show us the path. Show us the path. तृष्णा बूझे हर के नाम, महासंतोख होवे गुर बचनी, प्रभ स्यो लागे पूर्ण ध्यान. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji says, Trishna buje har ke naam. Once you get initiation from a master and the sound current opens up and your mind and soul get connected with that sound, Mahasantokh hove, you will be fully satisfied, contented. Contentment of the mind cannot attain unless you listen to the Shabad tone or sound current. Mahasantokh hove gur vachni, prabh syo laye puran dhyan. Listen to the master, whatever your master say. Master vachni means whatever your master tells you, do that. That will help you to control your mind. If your master say, do 2.5 hour meditation, do it. If your master say, just wash the dishes, wash the dishes. If your master say, just deliver satsang, deliver satsang. If your master says, clean the bathroom, clean the bathroom. Listen to the master. Whatever master says, do it. Do it. As Ishwar Puri Maharaj used to quote a story of that Babaji gave initiation to Driyalal Kapoor Ji, great master Baba Sahib Singh Ji. And when he retired, he came to the Dera and Babaji said, you can become anything. But he said, Babaji, I love to be your doorman. Then Baba Sahib Singh Ji just yes. He gave him the seva of a doorman. That means his salvation or his method to go back home was just to be a doorman. And one day he said, Babaji, I've been your doorman many years, but I never had a chance to do meditation. He got the key, went to Dalhousie, and came back home after 1 month. He said, Babaji never could be successful. Then Babaji said, nothing. There is a shabd written in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Satgur ki seva safal hai, je ko kare chit laye. Do the seva what is given to your master, that will take you back to Sachkhand. Even if a master says, just pick up the shoes of the Sangat and clean it, that's it. A master says, do Langar Seva, that's it. A master says, do 5-hour meditation, that's it. This is the mauj of the master. This is the mauj of the master. Master can say anything to take you back home. Just listen to the master. Don't do what your master is doing. Do what your master is telling you to do. If master is giving initiation, does not mean that you will start doing initiation. If master is holding a meditation workshop, it does not mean that you are qualified to do a meditation workshop. Not at all, unless your master gives you a permission to do it. Then you do it, otherwise please don't do it. Don't do it. Listen to your master. गुरु का शब्द अमृत है, सब तृष्णा भुख सवाए, हर रस पी संतोख हुआ, सच्चा बसया मन आए. Guru Amardas Ji says, Guru ka shabd amrit hai. The sound current, when it open up, is the holy water, nectar, sharabe hakiki, the wine. Sab trishna bhukh mitaye. Once you get connected with the inner light and sound, once you taste that nectar or sharabe hakiki or the wine, mind will get satisfied. Mind will get contented. Sab trishna bhukh, all your thirst will be gone, your hunger will be gone, your greed will be gone. Har ras pi santokh hua, sach basya manai. What is such? Adi Sach, Jugad Sach, hai bhi Sach, Nanak, hosi bhi Sach. Such is the sound current or Shabad. Once that Shabad opens up, then you will know the reality. What is truth is the Shabad, and what is Guru is the Shabad, and what is Vaheguru is the Shabad. Shabad Guru Sortuton Chela. Sortuton Chela, as Guru Amardas Ji Maharaj say, Agyan Trishna, is Tan Jalaye, Agyan Trishna, e Tan Jalaye, Tiski Buje, Jo Gur ka Shabad Kamaye. Agyan. If you don't know the reality, you're in the realms of mind. Agyan, Trishna, desire, wishes, lust. Etan jalaye. You will be restless, living in a physical form. Hararas pi, tiski buje, jo gur ka shabd kumaye. Only you can put off this fire. You can put off the fire of lust, desire, anger, egoism. If you do the meditation, if you listen to the sound current. The people who are listening to the Shabad, they will never argue with anyone. The people who are listening to the sound current, they will never say, I hate this person. The people who are listening to the sound current, they will never say, I'm the master. The people who are listening to the sound current, they will just listen to the sound. Their own sound will become silent, and the sound current will become louder in them. They are known as Gurmukhs. They are known as Gurmukhs. Gurke, Gurte, Buje, Tandar, Suje. How we go back home? How we cross all these mind and Maya? Gurte, Buje, Tandar, Suje. If Master gave us blessing. How this sound current opens up? Is this our efforts? You can try it. Effort is very good. Try it. Try it. Is there anything that is needed if your effort don't work? Yes. If your efforts don't work, something is needed to listen to the sound. What is that something? That's a blessing of the Master. Shabd khulle gur mehir se. Shabd khulle gur mehir se. Khinche surt guru balman. Shabd khulle gur mehir se. Without the blessings of the Master, the sound current will never open up. Khinche surt guru balman. Your Master is capable of pulling you up from physical accident cause. The mercy, the grace, the blessing of the Master is needed. Is needed. Naam bihuna kat kat buje. Naam bihuna kat kat luje. Satgur seva ki badiyai trishna bhukh gavai hai. Guru Amardas Ji says, without Shabd or Naam, without the blessing of the Master, you will keep coming back here. Your desire, your wishes will keep pulling you back. Satgur seva ki badiyai. Those who follow their Master. And they are blessed souls. Trishna bhukh gavai hai. All their desires and wishes will be gone. And I quoted the story of Chanda Singh Ji many times. Chanda Singh Ji was a disciple of great Master Baba Saban Singh. One time Baba Saban Singh Ji went to Himachal Pradesh. Now it is a different state, used to be a part of the Punjab. And Chanda Singh, he was so poor, he knew that Babaji is coming. He has no bus fare, no money at all. He decided to walk from his village at the highest peak of the mountain. It took him 3 days to reach where Babaji was there, where Babaji was holding his satsang program. When he came at the night time, Lala Munshi Ram Ji, who was a second secretary of great Master Baba Sahib Singh Ji, then Chanda Singh came and he said, Lala Ji, I'd like to have a darshan of great Master. Then Lala Munshi Ram Ji said, Babaji, Chanda Singh is here. He said, just bring him inside quick. And Chanda Singh went inside. Then he said,
ग्रेट मास्टर said, चंदा सिंह तू ठीक ठाक पहुंच गया, कोई परेशानी तो नहीं हुई? I'm glad you made it. Was everything okay? Are you tired? And he said, Babaji, not at all. When I was walking, you was walking in front of me in a radiant form. You made it possible for me to come see you in a physical form. And Babaji smiled. Then he said, Chandaji, and he asked the Sevadar standing outside, please bring some chai for Chanda Singh ji. And Chanda Singh ji had chai, and Babaji gave him some biscuits from the box. Then he said, Chanda Singh, I'm so happy you're here, and we will meet tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sasik. Chanda Singh ji said, okay, Babaji, please give me your blessing. I'd like to do the meditation. He went back, and barefoot, no clothes, nothing, winter, freezing. The next day, Lala Munshi Ram ji went to Baba Sabhan Singh ji, great master Baba. He said, Babaji, Chanda Singh ji has no shoes, no clothes, nothing. It's freezing outside at the Himalayas. Can I give him some money so he can get some blanket or maybe some bigger coat? And Lalaji said, Babaji said, Lalaji, try it. Then Babaji smiled at Lala Munshi Ram ji. Then he grabbed $5 bill from his pocket and gave it to Chanda Singh ji. Chanda Singh ji said, Lalaji, what is this? He said, Chanda Singh ji, don't you know, it's 5 rupees. And you can get yourself coat, shoes, blanket for that money. Then Chanda Singh said, Lalaji, I don't know. It may be 5 rupees for you. For me, it's just nut. It's nothing but a piece of paper. Chanda Singh said, Lala Munshi Ram ji, it is 5 rupee for you. For me, it's nothing but a piece of paper. Then Lala Munshi Ram ji went back to great master Baba Sabhan Singh ji, said, Babaji, Chanda Singh ji said, it's nothing but a piece of paper. He don't know the value of the money. Great master smiled. He said, Lalaji, he had gone beyond desire, wishes. His soul is in Sohang Desh. His soul is traveling where all the mountains are made out of 24 karat pure gold. Sohang Desh. And he's listening to Murli Baje Akhand Sudaye. Sohang Jhinga Shabd Sanaye. Lakh Atasi Deep Manaye. He said, Chanda Singh ji, he has gone beyond time and space. He's ready to reach Sachkhand. Now he's enjoying the blissful state at Sohang Desh. And his soul is enjoying the beauty of that Sohang Desh. It's a beautiful city. When you enter the Sohang Desh, you will see 2 mountains, one on the right, one on the left, and you will go through the middle. There are 8.8 million Brahms, different kind of heavens there. It may take you many light years if you want to see all of that. Then Lala Munshi Ram ji was surprised. Surprised because he had gone beyond Asha, Mansha, Trishna. Why? Because he surrendered himself to great master Baba Sabhan Singh ji. Baba Sabhan Singh ji. Then how it becomes possible? It cannot become possible unless you have a master. It cannot become possible unless you listen to the sound current. Sound current. As Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj says, Antar Pyas, Uthi Prabh Keri, Sun Gur Vachan Man Tir Lagaiya, Man Ki Birtha Man Hi Jane, Avar Ka Jane Ko Peer Baraya. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj Ji says, my mind gets fully satisfied when I listen to the sound. As Swami Ji Maharaj says, Kod Jatan Se Je Nahi Mane Tun Sunkar Man Samjai Hai. Your mind cannot get content or can be under control unless you listen to the sound current. Shabattan. Shabattan. As Sai Bulle Shah Ji says, Lagatir Hizarda Loki Men Kende Menu Challi. Aja Basta Khuda de Nita E Din Jind Challi. Aja Basta Khuda de Har Charke de Gid Mein Tanu Yaad Kar Di. Sai Bulle Shah Ji say, Shah Anayat. When I listened to the Kalam Ilahi Bange Usmani, my nafs was under control. And now I'm repeating the Simran, even while I'm sleeping. As Kabir Sahib Ji says, surrender yourself to your master
and do the meditation. And Pir Sahib Ji says, "Mano lago mera yaar fakiri mein." Now my mind is fully satisfied. Fakiri does not mean a beggar. Fakiri means satisfaction. यार फकीरी में जो सुख पायो राम भजन में सो सुख नाही अमीरी में. The contentment, the blissful state that you will experience listening to the sound current, to seeing the radiant form of your master or the Shabd Swarup of your master, Shabd Guru. When you experience the Shabd Guru and sound, there is no way. There is no value of that thing. There is no way that you can pay the price of that sound current. There is no way that once you see your master inside in a radiant form or the Shabd form, you cannot pay the price of that thing. As Kabir Sahib Ji says, "Man lago mera yaar fakiri mein, jo sukh payo Ram bhajan mein, so sukh nahi amiri mein." As a king, you cannot experience that blissful state as an ordinary human being. You can experience that blissful state like Chanda Singh did. It depends. You have to surrender yourself to your master and listen to the sound current. Once you listen to the sound current, all your vicious desires are gone. भला बुरा सब का सुन लीजिए, कर गुजरान गरीबी में, मन लागो मेरा यार फकीरी में. If people criticize you, just listen to them. People do all kind of thing. Just ignore them. प्रेम नगर में रहन हमारी, बलिवन आई तबूरी में. Kabir Sahib Ji says, "I'm in a blissful state. I treat everybody equal. For me, everybody is equal. Everybody is equal." So the best thing is, do meditation, surrender yourself to your master, and listen to the sound current. Listen to the sound current. Then you will be out of the cycle of death and birth. As long as we are in the realms of mind, mind will keep creating desires and wishes. Even the Devi Devta sitting in the higher heavens, they are also in the realms of mind. But as a disciple, we had an opportunity to go beyond time and space and discover ourselves and know our reality. Desire and wishes will be ended once you listen to the sound or Shabd. And that Shabd is our real master, Shabd Guru Surtutun Chilla. Surtutun Chilla, Shabd or Naam. Keep doing the Simran. Surrender yourself to your master. Whatever you will get is already written in your destiny. You will get it. Don't ask for any more. Don't have any hope. What kind of hope we have? Asa rakhiye Ram ki. Just hope for your master. Hope, desire, wish should be, Master, I love to see you in a radiant form in inside. Master, I love to listen to the sound current. Master, I want to go back home. Want to go back home. Please accept my seva and forgive all my mistakes. Thank you. Radha Swami.
which you can become unaware of the body. Because once you know that you are driving this body around from the driver's seat inside your head, you can locate yourself, imagine yourself, and with closed eyes, having a awareness of the body, know the rest of the body is below you, you're sitting high up in the head and driving this body. To be able to contemplate that, to be able to meditate upon it, to meditate upon the state that you are inside the head driving this body, pulls your attention from everything into the area around the driver's seat. It pulls your attention from the feet and the hands. If you are continuously thinking of what is happening in the head, how can you then also remember what is happening with your hands and feet? Even if you sit for 15 minutes contemplating where you are, you will forget where hands and feet are. It's a question of practice. With a little practice, you can withdraw your attention from the hands and feet and from the torso, and ultimately this space inside the head becomes your only reality in terms of awareness. You're only aware of what is inside your head. The head is looking like this head because we are aware of this body. Supposing you are not conscious that this is you, the self, but you are inside, that head becomes so large, it becomes like a universe. That you are there in the head is as large as you want to make it. Now, if you make that area your meditation chamber and start a journey of the spiritual path from there, you'll be very successful. If you don't reach that stage, but you merely sit in the physical body and meditate, it's very hard to go anywhere, because the constant thought of what is happening to your feet, to your legs, will keep you away from concentrating your attention in the head. And also when we talk of something, the driver's seat being inside the head, we're talking of a specific position. It's not anywhere in the head. It's not tilted towards one ear, or tilted in front of the eyes, or tilted behind at the back. Obviously, the driver's seat is right in the center. It's so close to the center that nothing could be closer to the center of this head. When you feel you are there, inside this body, which is a vehicle now, you'll find that the ears, which are like an artificial, looks like an artificial piece attached to your vehicle, ears become on either side of you. The eyes go in front of you. The level at which the driver's seat is exactly at the eye level. That particular location we call the third eye center. Why do we call it third eye? Because we begin to see from there without using these two eyes. So we have a power of seeing, a power of vision that exists behind these eyes and the center of these eyes and exactly in the middle of the head. It functions like a third eye, and that third eye can see far more than these physical eyes can see. The power of seeing of the third eye is creating the power for these two eyes to see, which we discover by concentrating your attention there. We can also take another example and not say this is a vehicle we are driving and there's a driver's seat. We can also assume that this is a house we live in. This is a 6-story house in which we live. And to this house, which is placed on the chair on the ground, we have placed a house and we're living in the 6-story house. The arms and legs are only attachments to the house. But the main house is the torso, the main body. From the bottom to the eyes and to the top of the head is a nice house. We live in that. And because it has different energy centers, starting from the bottom, it has 6 energy centers, each one operating independently. And you can concentrate on those centers, the 6 chakras, the 6 centers of energy. And since you can concentrate and have different experiences on those 6 centers, it's appropriate to call them 6 levels or 6 floors of this house. So we are, when we are awake and sitting and talking from our head, thinking from our head, we are in the 6th floor of that house. So we are sitting on the 6th floor of our house. If we can imagine that and locate ourselves in the center of our 6th floor, it's as good as imagining that you are a driver of a vehicle. The whole idea is to imagine that you are there. That's a starting point. The longer you can stay there with the thought that you are there, with the attention focused only on what is happening there, you will become unaware of this body gradually. In the same way as you physically die. You will first become unaware of your extremities, then you'll become unaware of your legs and arms, then you become gradually unaware of the bottom of your torso, and gradually you float around and feel that you are really only there. And at that time you will find that what you are is a little different from the physical body. Because suddenly you'll find that you have no weight. Have you ever imagined that your imaginary body has no weight? Where did that come from? Your imaginary body has great vision. Imaginary body can fly anywhere. That self is creating the imagination which we are using here. Some people think imagination is all imaginary. And I want to tell you, imagination is not as imaginary as we think. If you can imagine something, you can make it a reality at that stage. What we call the astral stage of consciousness is no more than a reality based upon your imagination. Whatever you imagine becomes real. The truth is that the same thing also applies here. But here physical imagination does not create anything. People are very creative. They invent things. They write inspired poetry. They come up as inventors, discoverers of various things. They come up with new theories. They come up with new ideas. Where do they get them from? All this is coming from the same world of imagination, which we say imaginary is not as imaginary as we think. In fact, the world of imagination is far more real than the world which we think is real here. And how can we test it out? By going there. There is no better way, no better proof than actually going there. It is the imagination or creation of ideas, imagined ideas, which make our reality there and here. This was one of the things that Socrates, the Greek philosopher, was trying to tell Plato. And Plato was trying to relay how that can be true. He was explaining to his own disciple, Aristotle, that the world of ideas is more real than this world. And it looked very difficult to prove that how can a world of ideas, imagined ideas, be more real? But he gave an example. He said, look, I am sitting on a chair. How did this chair come about? Forget about the subjective creation of reality. Think of the reality outside. How was the first chair made? How did the idea of a chair come from? First, there was a concept. A concept arose at some level of our awareness. The concept arose from where all concepts arise, which we call the causal stage, where all things are caused. The concept that we need something to sit which is higher than the floor came there. Then the idea of a chair, where you could have a shape, a form of that thing on which you could sit. That was the idea of a chair. This chair in the physical world could not have been created if that idea of a chair was not there. And the idea of a chair could not be there if there was no concept coming first. So concepts arise from somewhere in our awareness. They lead to ideas, and ideas lead to making that stuff here. But imagine, the idea of a chair is one chair. And we have made thousands of chairs of different sizes and shapes, and they all belong to the same idea of a chair. That one idea of a chair could create all the chairs of the world. And we could keep on changing the shapes, it's still the same idea of a chair. Where did this come from? This came from that area, which we say now is the world of imagination or ideas, which is called the astral world. Whatever you will imagine here, you can see in reality that being created as real experience at that stage. But when you're sitting in the physical body, and the physical mind and physical imagination is taking place, you can do very little except draw from the imagination of the astral stage. All inspiration comes from there, all creativity comes from there. And now imagine we leave this body and we're having experience of that from where all creativity comes. What will be your experience like? There is no comparison. You are able to see how the whole thing is created. Look at somebody studying a subject here, say somebody studying astronomy, and the entire subject of astronomy is all arising from a small section of a causal plane and the astral plane, where you can see that the source of all study is lying there. You can go to the source of all study and have the study continued with such ease and with so much help from that particular level of awareness. You can never have it here. Also, since you are able to fly and see better in the astral body, you explore a lot more than you can explore here. Also, your speed of movement becomes much higher. Here we are confined to limited speeds. Our space and time here has held us back in a trap. We don't realize what is the biggest trap. If somebody says, I am trapped in this physical world, I want to get out. What's the biggest trap? Is it karma? Is it people? Is it destiny? None of these. The biggest trap is time and space. We are trapped in time, that everything is following one event after another, cause and effect. And we're trapped in space, that we can't get out of it. We have limited ourselves to a time and space beyond which we cannot even think. Imagine that nothing, no thought can come to us which does not involve time and space. The smallest thought requires that. No amount of thinking, no amount of understanding goes beyond time and space. We are caught up in this big time and space trap, and that is why we can't get out of it. We take it for granted. If somebody were to say, what was the situation before time and space was created? A question you can legitimately ask the scientists today who say that time and space were created by the Big Bang. Okay, 14.5 billion years ago, a Big Bang created time and space. What was there before that? Could there be anything else? Could there be any other type of existence? Can we imagine anything else? Not at all. A state where no time and space exist is beyond our imagination, beyond our understanding, beyond our thoughts. You can try as hard as you like. And yet we read in the books that our original state of consciousness was beyond time and space. So obviously, what that original state is can never be known by imagination, by physical bodies, by our thoughts, or by our mind, or by any kind of understanding. It's beyond these. But we are trapped in this space and time, which are being created at the causal level of consciousness that precedes even the astral level where the sense perceptions are being created. The causal level creates all concepts, creates space and time, creates karma, creates good and bad, creates morality, creates all that we are trapped in today here, is all being created at a level of consciousness which is just 2 steps higher than where we are today. And it is accessible to us when we are as physical human beings. By seeking to go there, we can find it. I just mentioned how by concentrating your attention behind the eyes, inside the head, you can become unaware of the physical body and open up an astral world, an astral self of yours, and explore it, fly in it, examine it. There is no problem of weight. We don't need to do exercises to reduce our weight, and we can have the same type of shape. We can change our shapes too by imagination. We can do anything we like because the power of imagination creates reality there. It's the most remarkable life we can have, and on top of it, it's more real than this physical world. And we'll experience it ourselves as greater reality. But since we have a form, we can look at our form. It's not physical, but it's a form. We can feel where we are looking from. We have eyes, we have ears, we're listening with that. The astral form of a human being is amazing. It has form like this form. You can actually feel you've got hands and feet and arms, but when you're flying, you don't need any wings to fly. But because you're light, there's no gravity. There's absolutely no gravity in the astral plane. So it's a very different experience. And we can have that experience. But if you are able to now concentrate your attention within the head of the astral body, what happens? You become unaware of the sense perceptions. You become unaware that you have your body, and you open up another form of yours, which is formless. It is not exactly formless, but it is formless in the sense it has no relationship to this body or the astral body. That form of ours, amazingly, is our own mind. Our mind is that form. Our thinking process is the function of that body. Our assembly of sense perceptions and making images and making sense out of them is part of that body and functioning continuously. All these bodies are functioning continuously right now. We just cover one upon the other. We think with that body, but when it's covered, it becomes different. When our mind, which is thinking, is covered with the sense perceptions, it becomes a sensory mind. When it's covered by the physical body, it becomes a physical mind. It relates to all physical experience as its only reality. It goes to that level, then astral experience is the only reality. You go higher up to the causal self, the mind itself is the reality. And so many people, the most advanced people who have been enlightened and have gone to this highest level of consciousness, where they find the discovery that space and time are being created there. All creation takes place from there. They have declared that's the end of all discovery, and we have found our individual self being merged in the totality of one thought, one mind, and that is creating all the different minds, and therefore we are all different minds and souls here. You have discovered a universal mind. A universal mind is actually a copy of universal consciousness, but it's not universal consciousness. It's universal mind. It's a thinking process. It's a process to think and rationalize. The fact that we are all participating in it can be discovered at the causal plane. It does not mean that we have discovered ourselves. But then how do we go beyond? There is no way that we can go beyond. What we say, power of concentration, requires space and time. Let's meditate, requires space and time. Let's use special mantras, special holy words, or special empowered magical words, all require space and time. None of the method that we ever know of meditation can ever take us beyond the universal mind. That is why so many people are stuck there, and they think they have discovered their self. But there are a few people, very, very few, who have discovered that the mind is not the soul. The mind is not ourself. It has created these three worlds. But the source is what empowers the mind to be alive. The source is what empowers the senses and the body to be alive. And that is our soul and is beyond the mind. Now to go beyond the mind is very difficult. No method exists to go beyond the mind. No meditation has ever taken anybody beyond the mind. If somebody says, I meditated and went beyond the mind, it's telling you a story, because meditation is a method that only takes place in time and space. How can you go beyond that? But there is something that can take you beyond the mind, and that is something that arises beyond the mind and pulls you from here into that area. Something must pull you from here. Your effort, your methods will not work. But if some power is there, which is pulling you outside this realm of the three worlds, outside the realm of karma and all creation here, if it pulls you from there, you can cross that. What can pull us? Pull our awareness. The power that can pull us awareness is only one power, and it's called love. We talk of love every day, but we don't know the power of love. We don't know that love can pull us beyond the mind. Though we experience it even here. We experience love here, it pulls us. We experience love there, it pulls us. But the love that can pull us beyond the mind must come from the other side and pull us up beyond that. It must be so powerful that it defeats the obstacle that the mind places in our way, including the fact that we have reached a universal mind and we can't go beyond, but the love must pull us. That is why, if you ask me what is the true spiritual method of going beyond the mind, and which I would say is really going to our true home, where we belong as souls, as consciousness, per se, without any attachment, without any covers, the method would be love and devotion. Period. If that is missing, don't think of ever thinking that you'll go beyond the mind. There's no system. I've examined all the systems of meditation available today. None of them take you beyond the mind. Only love can pull you beyond that. Now here there are a few people, very few, you can count them on your fingertips, on your fingers of your hands, that exist in this world, who have reached that awareness of beyond the mind. They can pull us. We call them perfect living masters. We call them perfect living masters because perfection only exists above the mind. Everything becomes dual and lives in duality in the region of the three worlds of the mind and becomes imperfect. The perfection lies above. And since they are human beings like us and taking us from this level, they are living people. And they are masters because they have become adepts in this journey towards their own self-realization. Perfect living masters live beyond the mind. Their love extends to us from beyond the mind. Their love is unconditional. Their love is no judgment involved. They don't look at us how good or bad we are, because good and bad is all being created by the mind. They don't pass any judgment. They only look at our souls, the inner consciousness that wants to find its own true home and wants to find out where it belongs. We have an experience of the soul even here. It's not the experience that merely shows we are alive. It also expresses itself in some other ways. One of the ways the soul shows it exists in the physical world is by having experiences of intuitive knowledge, intuition. Intuition is such a sudden awareness of something, it does not involve time and space. And yet it operates here in time and space. We get a gut feeling. This is going to happen. Where does that come from? Mind has no part in that. Thinking has no part in that. We just get that gut feeling. That's a pure spiritual experience. Love is a pure spiritual experience. Not attachments, pure love. Pure love means where you forget the ego. That's my definition of pure love. If your ego exists and you say, I love you, and I is all full of ego, that's not love. But if you forget the I and can still love the beloved, that would be true love. Where does that come from? It comes from our soul. You can't make it up by thinking about it. You can think as hard as you like, you cannot have that experience. Love, intuition, and the appreciation of beauty, and having that feeling of joy and bliss, being so high somewhere, which cannot be explained by thinking. They all arise from our soul and can be experienced right here and at every level, all the way to our true home, totality of consciousness. Imagine the possibility that we have today, that there are such people who have access to those levels of consciousness beyond the mind, where only love, bliss, joy, non-duality and perfection live. And we can reach that point with their help. How do we find them? It's not possible to find them. I must confess, it's not possible to find them, because there is no external sign. We could find them if they were extraordinary people. But extraordinary people are extraordinary in this world. They are extraordinary maybe in their intellect, maybe they are extraordinary in their wisdom, maybe extraordinary in their love as expressed in this world. But how are they extraordinary people if somebody is too extraordinary? Say somebody is performing public miracles, like flying with a physical body, flying in. Say I am now elevated, I am now doing levitation, I am showing you how powerful I am. First of all, you suspect a lot of ego in such a person. He's trying to show off. Do you think if somebody has reached that level of consciousness, where he discovers that we are all one. To whom are you going to show off? Do you have to show off to somebody if you are yourself? Do you ever try to show off to your own shadow? It's the same thing. A person who has reached that level of awareness considers that all of them are part of himself, are not different. It's just a different experience. This separation is a part of experience. A very important part, by the way. Separation is such an important part of experience because although we talk of love, love is not experienced except by separation. If you're not separated, even from yourself, how can you experience love? It becomes a concept then. To experience love, you create separation. So therefore, this potential to know that you are totality of consciousness, creating separation for experiencing your own true nature, your true nature being love, justifies the whole creation of this world. It tells us why this was created, why duality was created, why opposite was created, why separation was created. It's all justified to have the experience of love. So therefore, such people do not have to show off anything at all. Secondly, if they want to come and help us with unconditional love, that is the qualification of a friend. I just mentioned right in the beginning that a friend is one who has no judgment, does not pass any judgment on you, and love is unconditional. But that's exactly what we're talking of now, that a person who has that awareness will automatically have unconditional love and no judgment. We think that all of us having different roles, different costumes in this big play over here are performing our parts because of the big show, which is all part of a show within consciousness. Nothing is happening outside. And this awareness only comes up when we go beyond the mind. Now we cannot find these people who have this. That is sad, that we cannot find these people. People who show off are not those, obviously. People who claim that they are enlightened to that level are not enlightened, I can tell you this. Because the claim, how can you make a claim unless you really believe that the separateness is real? How can somebody try to teach you something unless he sincerely begins to believe you are separate? And these people know we are not separate. We are all one. And therefore they never pretend to be superior to you. They are like us, totally like us. In order to be friends, we can be friends most easily, most comfortably with somebody who's like us. Have you ever examined that? I was saying, if a person flies in this, from outside, we look at the window, there's a man flying. How is he flying? He comes in and still flies in the ceiling here, he's up there. And we look at that man. What will be our feeling? Let's see, what will we think if a man is just stuck up there? Some will say, there is some cord or something, some ring, some string, something, some rope holding him up. It's just a trick he's playing. First thought. Second thought, he maybe have some yogic practices of real levitation and he's gone up. Maybe he's worth admiring. He's worth admiring, maybe even worth worshipping, but certainly not loving. You can never love such a person. You can admire that person, you can worship that person, you can do anything else. Love does not come for such a person who is so different from us. Where does friendship and love come? Where somebody is exactly like us, totally ordinary. And therefore, for our good fortune, these perfect living masters I talk about, whose consciousness has gone above the mind, they are totally ordinary people. Sometimes they look more ordinary than ordinary people. The ordinariness of theirs is what makes us love them and be friends with them. When they are not ordinary, we cannot have that kind of experience with them. If they are so ordinary, they roam around amongst ordinary people, how can we ever find them? There is no reason. We can't find them, period. Good news is, they can find us. That's good enough. If they can find us, so it's good enough. So then how will they find us? If we seek to find them. If we seek to go beyond the mind, if we seek to have an experience of our own true home of totality of consciousness, if the seeking is in our heart, somehow, if they are really part of us, they really know us so well, they should be able to appear before us. They should be able to become our friends without our knowing. They should just appear and gradually reveal how they came. They came because of our seeking. If that is so, then the answer to the question, how do you find these people, is don't try to find them, just seek for them inside yourself. Don't have to shout outside, don't have to look for them, just seek inside. If somebody says, I am tired of these worlds, I am tired of living so long in this kind of world, I have examined it, I have experienced it, I am fed up of it, I have done with it. This is not my home anymore. I don't think it was ever my home. When one comes to those kind of feelings, I want to go back to my true home. When that feeling comes, such a perfect living master will come into your life, guaranteed. Because that is what their job is. The job is to appear in the life of a person who is a true seeker, a seeker of something beyond the mind. Of course, if you seek something that is within the mind, if you seek something like I want to make more money, I want to have good luck here or there, I want to get a better job, then some other people will come or may not come, and you may have to seek them and run around for them. But if your seeking is for your true home, beyond these levels, beyond the level of sense perceptions, beyond the level of this physical world, beyond the level of your thoughts and karma, if you want to go beyond that, just seek inside and they will appear. How will they appear? Let's try today meditation